Hello, guys, and welcome to your very own Tech in Mood. First of all, I know that the background is a little dull today, so apologies for that. Now, talking about the video today, so we got requests from a couple of subscribers that please keep on adding more videos to the playlist, top program for estate interviews. So we have a playlist wherein we walk you through the famous Java programming questions that are critical for estate interviews. So we've already added some videos to that, and now we are continuing adding more. So the today's video is going to be about the writing down a Java program to find the duplicate characters in a string. Okay, so so as an example, you have this string automation, and I want you to go and map and find all the characters which are repeating. So herein you will see that A is repeating, O is repeating, right? U is repeating. Now, how do you do that? There's an algorithm for it. So I always try to first explain it with the help of an algorithm before just straight away jumping into the code, that because that helps you understand better. So I'll do the same here. So the algorithm is number one, convert string to character array. Number one, that is you have the string automation, you have to compare, you have to convert it into a character array. Number two, initiate two booleans as true and false. So basically you have this switch which will basically change the things for you, right? So whenever you have one character which one character which somehow duplicates, then you uh, change the boolean. And how do we change it? That is something we'll see. Number three, you will iterate through it. Iterate as in focus on the string. First of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pick up the character A, and then I'm going to compare it with U, T, O, M, A, T, I, O, N. And wherever I find a match, that is, I would find the match of A to this one, right? At that point of time, I'm going to record it and print it. Then I'm going to pick in the second iteration, I'm going to pick the character U and then compare it with others. Then character T and then compare it with others. Then character O and then compare it with others, right? That is how we can do it algorithmically. So basically, iterate through the character array and compare I and I plus one. That is first one and then so on. Then you update the Boolean value. How do you update the Boolean value? Something we'll see in the program. That is when you'll understand it better. And then lastly, you print the duplicates as per the results. That's all, right? Now let's go and see one of the example. That is how basically it would work. So first step, that is splitting string into characters, already you know. In the second one, you have this iteration. So in this iteration, we are basically, if you see the point B, it says if A is equals to U or A equals to T or A equals to O and so on. Wherever you find a match, you break and then print it. If you don't, then you just print the string, that is there are no duplicates in the string, right? Now let's go ahead and let's have a look at the code. Don't worry about writing the code right now. I will share this simple Google Doc with you. It has the entire code with you. Uh, and you can go ahead and you can refer to this particular document. You will have this code with you forever. So don't worry. Just focus on what I am explaining right now. Cool. So let's start. Okay. So here I am in Eclipse. I started a simple Java file, and herein you have this. Now we're going to go and write down one line of code turn by turn. Cool. So the first one is I'm going to first declare a string. As you can see in line number 16, focus on line number 16. You have the word, or you have the string automation. You're converting it into lowercase. If if let's suppose had it been in caps, then and honestly, you can skip this dot to lowercase as well. It's just for your easiness. That's all, for your readiness, right? Then secondly, I'm going to go and convert this string into character array. How do I do it? I have this line of code in line number 17. That is, I will initiate a character array, give the variable name, and then use to-char array to convert the string into array, which is done now, right? Then, okay, I have the character array with me right now. I'm not going to declare the boolean for now. We'll declare it later on, because first we need to understand that why boolean is important, why boolean is critical. Cool. So I'm going to first initiate a loop, that is for int I equals to 0, I is less than s dot length. And what I mean, I'm sure if you are referencing to these questions, you already know what is a loop, how to iterate through one. So I think we're good with that. Now, I am going to first initiate a loop. Let me. do this right here. And again, I'm going to skip Boolean is duplicate equals to false for now. I'll just focus on the other loop, that is for int I, j equals to I plus 1. Now, what does this mean? This basically means in the first one, that is in the first for loop or in the outer for loop, I am basically iterating only from A, the first one. Then in the second one, I am comparing A to U, A to T, A to O, A to M, A to A. I mean, basically, first one comparing it with all the characters. Then in the second one, I will compare U with all the characters and so on. Right? So now I am going to mention this loop and I'm going to copy this entire thing, and then we'll talk about it independently. So we are done. We are good with these two loops, that is the outer loop and the inner loop. This is termed as nesting as well. So if just for your reference. Now, uh, I think this is self-explanatory in line number 21. That is, it says that if the character which is found at the first index and the character which is found at the second index, if they're similar, if they're equal, then you go and mark this particular switch, that is Boolean, to true, right? So we have to have a place wherein we can basically mark it to true, right? So in order to do that, first we'll have to mark it false, because in order to change the switch, if you have something already on and you want to, I mean, if you want to make it again on, you'll have to first off it, right? In very amateur words. So now I'm going to go and basically just take this thing, right? And I'm going to mention it as false here, right? So herein I've already mentioned it as false, and now I'm marking it as true. So by default, I'm assuming that there is no duplicate, and when I find one duplicate, I will go and mark it as true, right? Cool. Now there might be an instance that, and before that, whenever I find it, of course I found it, but what am I doing for this? I have to go and print it out, right? So basically, in line number 29, it says that if is duplicate, which means if this is true, then you go and print it out. Character I. So character is the array and I is the index. So wherever it is equal, you go and print it out. Cool. Then is not duplicate equals to false. What does this mean? Let's go and see. So is not duplicate equals to true again, because okay, if there is a scenario when there's a duplicate, that's okay. But if there is no scenario and if there is no duplicate, then what do? So by default, we'll assume that there is no duplicate. That is not duplicate equals to true. And then we'll see that, okay, if this particular is not duplicate is, I mean, if there is nothing which can be marked as, I mean, in line number 31, you can say that there's a duplicate, right? So then you'll say that is not duplicate is not valid. If in a string there is a duplicate character, then I can say that uh, one thing is for sure, that no duplicate is not there is not true, right? So I'm going to say that is not duplicate is false. Again, I'll repeat myself. If in a string there is something duplicate, that means that the case of no duplicacy is void. Again, if there is a duplicate, if repeating characters are there in a string, then that means that in the opposite of it is that the concept of no duplicacy is void, right? So what this is what we're doing here. Now, I am going to go and copy this one more time. This means that if there is no duplicate, that is, it is not duplicate is, if it is false, then you will go and print it out, that is no duplicates are found, right? So all in all, very quickly explaining the algorithm, you have a string, you basically compare this string and basically pick the first character and compare it with others. Then you pick the second character and compare it with others, and so on. If you find a match, then you go and basically print out that particular match. If you don't find out a match, then you go and print out which says no duplicate are found. It's as simple as that, right? So I hope that this algorithm is clear to you, this program is clear to you. I know this can be a little confusing. Watch this video again, try this code at your own end. Might be I maybe at one or two points I was not able to make it that much clear. I agree to that, because this virtual setup wherein I'm just recording, I might miss a couple of things, or I might assume a couple of things. So I always apologize for that. But yes, I even if you're able to understand 60-70% using this video, my job is done. The rest you can refer to the code, do some tweaks here and there, and I'm sure you'll be able to understand it. Cool. So yeah, I think we're good here. I hope that this program is clear to you. Keep on Keep a watch out on the channel for more videos in this playlist and other videos in general as well. We are coming up with some podcast as well. Cool. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and talk to you soon. Bye bye.